Hi lovers. Hi guys. How are you guys doing? Yoma Danielle here. Yeah, hope you guys are doing good. Yeah. I want us to talk about last wills and testament. Like when you are passing on, just that will that you leave behind, eh? Black people, can we take this very serious as in to write wills or to leave wills behind? Um Let me just start off by maybe explaining what a will is, because maybe some people might be like, okay, what are you talking about? When you pass away, when you die, there are those things that you leave behind, being it vehicles, being it cash, being it assets, houses, being it equipments, furnitures, and you die. Okay. You want to leave, you are leaving these things behind, and you just don't want people that are stronger than others to come and take things the way they please. So now you put it in writing to say, when I die, when I depart from here, I am leaving these assets with A, B, C, with these particular people. Let me say you have children's, okay? And then you divide among your kids so that your kids you don't leave kids fighting one another. Okay? If you have money, you divide accordingly among kids so that you don't leave kids behind fighting one another. Okay? You can now do this with the lawyers, or you can do this with the banks. Okay? I am saying this and I'm making this video because I know we have what we call, is it procrastination? What do you call that word? Where we are just saying, tomorrow, we are going to do this, and we are really not standing up to do these things. And we look at these things like they are very, very simple things, but it's actually very important. It's actually very important for us to have wills written, and leave things in order, so that when one day we depart from this world, we can leave things in order, and people then won't disadvantage one another, because you'll find that even the people that were never close to you, even the people that were never talking to you, even the people that were never really, you'll find them fighting for your things when you are gone. And some people just have so much power than others. Some people just feels more stronger than others. It's life. Some people feel they speak well, better than others. Some people feel they're physically stronger than others. Some people think they're smarter than others. And there will always be that inequality, unfortunately, among family members. And there's a say that says you do not know your people until it comes to inheritance. And that is the truth. It's so disturbing to witness, or to just, as you grow, to witness and to look at how people handle inheritances. This is the moment where people don't trust each other. This is the moment where people think others are not important than them. This is where people think others are not deserving of specific things than them. This is the moment where people literally just don't trust one another. They don't care about one another. They don't love one another. They don't have each other's backs and this is the moment where you can leave words behind to say, do my things like this, and people don't give a shit what you say. People don't care what you say. It's your things. You worked hard for the things. But those words that you leave behind to say, do things like this, they don't care. People don't care. Why am I actually making this video? I'm making this video because I personally have been one of the people that are like, I'm not making a will. I will make one day. When I bought my house 4 years back, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't have a child. I was not married by then. So I remember there was a man that asked me during the whole process of me finalizing my papers, and he said to me, do you want to write a will? And I said no. And I said, no, I'm not interested in writing a will. What must I say? I was not prepared. I didn't see the importance of the will at the moment. I was just like, I'm just living my life. I don't care who takes what when I die. I don't have kids. I looked at my siblings. I come from a family of good order. I thank God for that. I come from a family of good order. My mother, my father, they are very well organized. My siblings are well organized. And I'm like, okay, maybe my sisters can take the house when I'm gone. Okay, maybe my sisters can take my house when I'm gone. I don't have a problem. Then my sister gave birth to a son. Then later on I was like, okay, maybe then I have a reason to write my will, because then maybe if I die, my sister's son can take the house. And then I got married, and then I gave birth to my kids, and I was like, okay, fine. Then I can go write the will. Things keeps changing with time. Now I can go write the will because I now have a son, And then I just kept, my son is a year 7 months as I speak. And a year 7 months, I still didn't write the will. And anything could have happened to me. Anything could have happened to me during this 1 year, 7 months. And I have a son. And my son, who I would have died and leave nothing for my child, because people then would come and take things because it's still a baby. But even though he's still a baby, I could make things and have things arranged and leave things for him, even though he's still a baby. But unfortunately, we don't really take these things serious until we see things in front of us happening. Until when you start witnessing how people handle inheritances, and then you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing to my children? So what am I doing to my kids? What am I doing? Because I can go tomorrow. This world, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We honestly live by grace, and tomorrow we live on a borrowed time, and tomorrow is really not guaranteed. Things just happens. You're just driving, an accident happen, you are gone. You are just minding your business, something happens, you are gone. So really, honestly, old age, we get there by grace, and it's just not guaranteed like that. So, and then I made a choice. I need to go to the bank, because the whole time I was like, okay, fine, I'll contact the lawyers. And they were charging me money. They were charging me, I think, 2,500. And I was like, ah. And I think this is a problem with this money thing, because um when you are like, okay, 2,500, okay, I'll save up, okay, when I get a bonus or when I get specific money, I'm going to pay for the will. Then the bonus comes or money comes, and then you just use it for something else, and you just keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. A year passes, 2 years passes, and you do not have a will for your kids. And I'm like, no. Just last month, not last month, this month, last weekend, with my lady that does my facials, we were having a discussion about inheritances. And she was also saying, no, inheritances are quite interesting, because my father also passed on, and my father left a few things for us, and my stepmother wants us to write a letter to say we like go to court and declare that we are not interested in the assets. And and actually our lawyer is busy sorting things out for us. And she was just like, Hilma, you must have a will, and I'm going to make sure that I remind you. And I was like, and she told me that no, the whole time I had a will with the bank, but then I had to move it to the lawyers, and she had a reasoning. See, she then what broke things down for me on lawyer's side, and broke things down for me on the bank side. And in all honesty, sometimes we really want to make wills, but we don't know where to go. At first, when I wanted to make my will, I knew the bank can, but I was just not interested in the bank like that. But then later on, I was like, okay, let me do my will with the lawyers, because when we got married with my husband, we didn't marry in community of property. We married out of community of property, and we did an ANC, that out of community of property contract that you make. And yeah, I did that with the lawyers. And I was hoping that I can also make my will with the same lawyers. It's just that I got delayed because of money. There is just, even though I get money, I just use it for something else. I just go like, it's a will, it's not that urgent, I can find it later, just procrastination. What do you call that thing? Tomorrow. And then I was like, no, wake up call, I have to make this will as soon as possible. So she told me, with the banks, you don't pay anything. It's not off to say you don't pay anything. When I went there myself, you pay FNB. I don't know about other banks, I can only speak about my bank. They charge $500 or $90 something annually for the rest of your life, or $500 or five something, I cannot remember, less than $600 once off payment. And I opted for a once off payment, because I'm not about to be paying $90 something for the rest of my life because of a will. And really honestly, when we are talking about protecting, let me say, for instance, depending on how the two of you as a couple, or you as an individual, is protecting your kids. Because most of the time when we do wills, we are doing them for kids. We are adults, we can take care of ourselves, but should you die today and your child is still underage, the child still needs to be taken care of. Okay? And you cannot just leave a child like that, without guardians, without funds. And you cannot just leave funds once off payments with people like that. People misuse funds, and your kids are going to suffer. And not only do I want to applaud or to thank the government, really honestly, I did not see so much justice for children's than I have seen in the past few days that comes with the government. And I really want to say thank you for the government, because the kids are protected. If it's the house, the kids are protected. If it's money, the kids are protected. It goes to the kids. If it's like they want assets to go to the biological kids for that person that passes on. And that really makes me happy. It's like you can really tell that the government really have protected people and protected children of the deceased people. And on the government side, really, I want to say thank you. However, with kids that and I will share knowledge of what I have, and I will share the importance of these wills and last testaments, as in just you writing what you are leaving behind or how you want things to be handled when you pass on. What I've noticed is that it's very important for us to also have life covers. Okay? It's very important for us to have life covers. Why am I saying this? When, let me say, for instance, you have paid off your house, okay? And your kids are very young. Or you did not pay off your house and your kids are very young. It's very important for you to have a life cover, and don't miss your payments, because the moment you miss your payments, they just canceled your life cover automatically. It happened with me one time that I missed my payments, and then I had a lot of my plates and I missed my payment, and then next thing I saw, they're not deducting anymore. For months I'm just quiet, and then one day I asked them, why are you guys not deducting my payments? And then they're like, no, it has been months now, you didn't make payments. So now I went over, if they have, I cannot remember now because it has been a while. I don't know whether it's a period of 6 months or 4 months or 5 months. If you don't pay, then they just cancel your life cover automatically. All your covers, all the things that you're supposed to pay for, they just cancel it, and then you start from scratch. And when you start from scratch, you're gonna start with a different premium or monthly payments depending on how old you are, and then they just let go of the previous ones. You start over again. And this is something that I have to put here for you to be aware of, just sharing knowledge and what I know. And I would love us to also share what we know, because this is a learning process. We are all learning. In life we learn. However, what I picked up about houses is that when you now die, or when you now pass on, okay, the knowledge that I have is that this house have to be transferred to the next person, okay, being it your kids. If your kids are not here and you have left a will behind, whoever that the things needs to be transferred to. But number one, your children should do die now without a will, but let's hope now you have a will. Okay, when you have a will or you don't have a will, and these assets need to be transferred to your children's. And one thing that we must also know, which I did not know, is that houses can be co-owned among your kids. Let me say, for instance, you have 2, 3, 4 kids that you are leaving behind, and you have an asset. Do not choose one to say, I'm only leaving the house to whoever because he's the eldest or whatnot, because you never know, maybe they are going to disadvantage the others. You can now easily say, I'm leaving it to my kids. Then they can co-own the house equally. The house can be on their names, all of them. I also just picked this up when I went to the bank. I didn't know. Now what I picked up is that when you die now, the importance of the life cover, okay, the importance of the life cover now jumps in to say, this house needs to be transferred to your children's names or to your child's name. And this is not what happens. What happens is that there is fees that needs to be paid. Okay, they say it's a 3.5 of the value of that asset, being it of the value of that house. I'm talking about houses. I'm not talking about cars, because a car, you can simply just give it to whoever they want. They have the papers, they go to NATES, they change the details to their name. Vehicles are very easy. I don't really care whether they put the values of 100,000, because they say now all the assets with a value of 100,000 and above need to be declared. To me, when it comes to assets, really, that's vehicles, you can leave them out of this whole process, because then vehicles are very easy. You can just give them to whoever. If you're gonna give them to your children, leave them to your husband or leave them with whoever, you can easily just leave them behind, and then they can just go to NATES and change. The process of changing a NATES is very easy, because then you just go with the documentations and your ID, you do the police clearance, and then you change the vehicle, just like any other changing of vehicles ownership, unless if you say the person is dead. But if you don't say the person is not dead, then you can just go and change. That's really honestly very easy. But on assets, houses, okay, there is an amount of 3,000, I think, that needs to be paid in the whole process. And actually they do have a list of lawyers that you have to choose from. Okay, they do have a list of lawyers that you need to choose from, and then you choose the lawyer that you want to use, or you ask them to recommend the good lawyer that you want to use. You pay an amount of 3,000. I think that is fixed, speaking under correction. The people that have done law, you can come in here, and there is a 3.5% payable on 3.5 of the value of an asset at the moment, payable to the lawyers. Okay, the house can be advertised, and when the house can be advertised, people that you owe, let me say for instance, you owe specific people, they can now come and say, no, whoever owes me, and then they can come with proof, and these people can be paid off, and the house can be transferred depending on how much you owe. People might use your assets to pay the debts of the people that you owe. Unfortunately, why did I mention this transfer? I want to say the importance of leaving the life cover behind. Even when you pay off your house, try to have a life cover for your children, so that it's easier for them to maintain and not to lose their house. Because 3.5% of the value of an asset, that is a lot of money that children might not have if they are minor, or if they are not having stable jobs like that. They can lose a house if they are unable to pay off that cost. So leave life covers also behind, just to cater for these costs, to cater for the bank doesn't like losing. If you have a loan or something, these people are gonna come for your assets, and your kids are gonna go in the streets. Have money behind that can cater for, if you had a loan, it can pay off the loan. If you had, for you to transfer houses in your kids' names, do that. I'm not gonna advise you to transfer the houses or assets in your kids' name while you are still alive, because the danger comes if those kids just decide, it's my house, I'm selling it. You are gonna go to the street. Or if they just become irresponsible one day, you are gonna go to the street. But at least saying, I am leaving wills behind, so that at least one day my kids are protected. Really, honestly, I think I should share that information to say, let us leave wills, and let us try to have life covers to ensure that houses are not sold or we don't lose them. Because imagine paying for houses that are millions or a million and something of dollars. At the end of the day, after you are done paying for this house for those 20 years, you have paid closer to double the amount, or God knows, triple the amount or whatever, with those interest rates that are just extremely way too high. And imagine wasting 4 or 5 million at the end of the day to pay off this house, including the interest rates, only for you to lose the house because of a transfer cost, only for the kids to lose an asset because of a transfer cost. What a waste. What a waste of money. What a waste of money. And what a waste of money. And we wouldn't want our kids to start over again. These interest rates, they're just way too high. So I urge all my people, please, with houses, not only with houses, even with money, even with anything, with assets, any type of assets, more especially houses, please leave wills behind. Leave wills behind. And I spoke about protecting your children's not to lose houses through these transfer costs due to the cost that might be way too high. I did not speak about minors. Let me say, for instance, you die and the child is just way too young. Okay? Protecting your children so that your kids do not suffer. Okay, let us speak about protecting your kids so that your kids do not suffer when you are gone. Okay, when I was speaking to the lady at the bank, she actually told me, and this information I'm going to share because it's very educational. She was having chats with me to say, okay, if you want to leave this for your kids, the house can be co-owned by all of your kids. Because if I have one child now and then I die while I'm giving birth, I do not want the child to be excluded from the will. So you can simply just say all my biological children can own ABC, even those that are to come in future. All my biological children are to own ABC, so that now everybody that comes and say I am a biological child, they can be included in the whole share. They can have their share in everything. Now, this is when it comes, what if you die while your kids are still young? Now, what they do is that they say, if you have life covers can pay off the house so that your kids do not lose the house. The life cover can then pay off the house, and then the bank does not come for the house and sell it, and then your kids goes to the streets. Okay, then your children have the house. That is the importance of a life cover. Okay. Secondly, so make sure that your life covers payments are up to date. Very important, they're up to date. Secondly, when you die, your children have to go to school. Okay. Now it's up to you to say, put my life cover money in a trust rather than you distributing it to people. If you want, you can distribute it to the people, or you can simply say then, let me give this amount of money let me put this amount of money in a trust. Okay. You put this amount of money in a trust, and you put the house in a trust until this kid turns 25 years old or 30 years old, preferably 25 years old. Then you can ask the bank to say, okay, look at the how responsible the children are by 25. If they are irresponsible, you are still to keep specific money, because they say when the kids are 25, what happens is that if the kids, and I'm speaking under correction if I didn't catch everything correctly, but I'm thinking I've catched everything correctly. What happens is that if you have a life cover, then the they paid to you, provided that now you didn't fill in that beneficiary list at with the insurance companies. If you do, or if you did, then and the child is still a minor, they pay to the high court, I think so, high court, and then they keep the money there. And then what happens is that when you want your child to, when you want to get money for your child, school fee or something, you just go there, get money for school fee. But she said something like there they get 50-50, like you get 50% of the school fee, and then the rest can be paid by the other parent if they're still alive. They don't pay everything. If maybe everyone is dead, maybe that's when they make provision. I have no idea about the situation or the case where everybody is dead. And what else that you need to know about? For instance, if you choose not to keep things in the trust with the bank, what they do is that they pay for the school fees, the school uniform, books, sometimes water and electricity, and just to completely take care of the kids' assets, the kids' expenses. But they do this also at the fee. There are fees that they charge, and depending on how many transactions that they do per month or so. And I think I asked about the fees. They gave something about estimation. Sometimes it can be $1,000, but it really depends on how often do you go there for the expenses. But you must go there with proof. They now put guardians there to say, now you must give us your guardians who are overlooking the situation. If, let me say, for instance, the kids are staying with whoever they're staying with, and whoever is staying with the kids is not taking care of the children. This money that is coming, the only thing that they say is tricky is food, because food, there might be a lot of people in the house, and food is for everybody, not only for the kids. So they say food, really, that it's very tricky for them to pay for the food, but the rest of the things like water, electricity, they can really cater for that, and school fees, and I don't know about transport, but the costs that just to take care of the kids, with the guardians. But then there are also some people that you nominate, or a person that you nominate, to overlook the situation, to say, how are my kids being treated? Then they can always go to the bank and blow a whistle and say, no, look, these children are not being taken care of. Okay? They're not being taken care of like that, and they can either be given to that person to take care of, or they can now, they can maybe now observe the situation to really look how the kids are, being treated, and then maybe they can pass on the responsibilities to the next person. I'm not really sure, but all in all, I really honestly with the lawyers, I just feel like they're human beings, and some lawyers can be greedy, and they can chop up the money. You really need somebody that you can trust. And with the bank, the transactions are kept nicely. I don't think the bank can chow your money like that. The banks are huge organizations, and transactions are kept like that. So for the bank to chow your money like that, I don't think so. But yeah, like I'm saying, really honestly, wills are very important, because if you die, then your kids can be taken care of until they grow up. When they are big enough, there is now up to you to say, they're big enough, they can now be given their own money and then do their own things. Or you can put the terms and conditions there to say, look, they can only get this amount of money provided that they come here with degrees or whatnot, or showing that they are really in order. You must test them for drugs, test them for what, see if they are irresponsible, they are not getting this money. Or when you give them money, you must double check them. How are they spending the money? You cannot give them money today because they are saying they don't just give everything at once. You give them a portion, see how they are handling the money. If they are irresponsible, then you stop giving them money. You give them few years again, until, because they're like 25, we can go to 25 to 30 years old to see just how responsible they are, or something like that. But in what I'm saying overall, another thing is that you can protect your assets or your kids from your partner's lovers. Let me say, for instance, you are married. If you were married, they do give you an option to say, okay, if you are married, they give you an option to say, if your partner remarries another partner, they are to leave the house. If it wasn't co-owned, they are to leave the house, because some people come and then they abuse your children. Okay, some people do come and then they abuse your children. So you can say, you get married again, you and your partner must go and start your new life somewhere else. If they are living together now, and you can put conditions, and the house was co-owned, you can put conditions to say, should you remarry again, your partner that you are going to get married to must not benefit from our assets. Because we do have situations where we are married in community of property, for example, and I die, we pay off the house, and you remarry in community of property again, and then now our house belongs to you and your partner. You die, that house goes to your partner, and then our children's in the mix, loses everything. So it's very important for you to do wills and testaments. It's very, 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 very important for you to do wills for your children's, so that you do not lose assets, so that even if you die, your children's are protected. It's very, very important. I used to look at this like, tomorrow, go now. With the bank, it's really free. They start the process free. It's not free. They're going to deduct $500, which is reasonable, or 500 and something, which is reasonable. Or you can go with the lawyer. The one that I've contacted is Hoveka. It's a legal thing in town. It's around about 2.5. When I did my quotation for the will, it's around about 2.5. I did not consult any others. You can also speak to different lawyer, the agent, what the lawyer companies, and then you see how much they charge, and you see how they keep things. I cannot really speak about lawyers because I didn't go that route anymore. I end up going with the bank. So really, honestly, as Black people, let us normalize leaving wills behind, even with money, so that money is divided accordingly. Should you leave money behind? If you are leaving a house, let us leave wills behind, so that we do not have people that are fighting for things, and at the end of the day, destroying things, more especially selling things. With assets also, you can, if you know there's somebody that you don't trust people behind, you can put assets in a trust where you can sell the vehicles, and then you put that money in the trust and then use it for the children. Or you can leave the cars with people that are being left behind. We all have different beliefs. If you feel like the assets also must go to the trust, make your intentions very clear. If you feel like your assets cars must go to whoever is available, you must make your intentions very clear that should there be any vehicle, whoever must take it. Yeah, actually, there is it. Not everything goes to the trust. Not everything goes to the trust. You can make separate your intentions very, 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 very clearly, and just leave things behind very clearly, or ask questions depending on your preferences. They are going to advise you accordingly. Really, honestly, as Black people, let us not take this lightly. Let us not take wills lightly. Wills are very important. Let us leave children with assets. And nothing makes me happy than co-owning assets, because the whole time I was thinking to myself, like, okay, maybe I'm going to divide the houses, to take this house, to take this house. And then they just said, no, but they can co-own, they can co-own specific assets. Like, this is our assets. And you can live also, if you let me say, for instance, if you yeah, but let me talk about this one. If you go there, you are gonna get your preferences. You are gonna get your preferences of, to say that, okay, sometimes you might sit and be worried that, but my husband, what if they go and sell the house? You must make your intentions very clear. You can make your intention very clear that I'm leaving these assets with kids, but my husband lives in this house until he dies. For example, my husband is still the head of this house. My husband is still the head of this house until he dies. He's still living in this house. It's just of to say that you do not want to die here tomorrow, and then things are not done properly when you are gone, and you leave assets in the process, But yeah, it's not a debate of, let us not make it a debate of how things are done, but let us rather make it a debate to say, you can also do this with the wills. Let us share knowledge of things that I did not share, to say you can also, this is also doable with the wills, so that we learn knowledge and we share knowledge with others. And of, to say, with the wills, there's also this information that you did not speak about that can also be done, or that can also be shared with the public. And also let us see where we can because I really asked what are the costs involved, but with the bank changing the house to your, because I think I didn't speak about this, changing your ownership to your children's names. I asked the bank, what are the costs involved when you are doing these things? Ask about the costs involved, so that your life covers can cover the costs. Then the bank told me that it's regulated. It's like it's the same as the High Court, as in to say, we are just having the 3.5 of the value of the assets. And these people are saying the value of the assets, are saying everything. The house, the what. That's why it's very important to say, when we are talking about value of assets, sometimes cars, leave them out of this mess. Because these people are going to come for your everything, and your family is going to suffer. Sometimes vehicles, leave them out. A vehicle is very simple. Just give it to whoever, and it doesn't need to go to the bank for evaluations and for them to put it in the whole mess. The only thing that they must be putting on the trust should be like houses and now cash involved, because the cash, they have to keep it, more especially the cash that is coming from the life cover, they have to keep it for them to take care of your children. A house and a life cover cash, that is a different idea. Or maybe some cash that you might be expecting, that is a different idea. They can get that cash and handle it for the children. But I also need you to come and tell me, because you really, really do not know the honest truth until you experience this. So I think whoever have experienced this, can you also come down to us and tell us that when my parents died, for example, they had a house in town, and I had to go through the transfers. They left the things in the trust. What was your experience? How were things handled, so that we learn from you, so that we know that, okay, when we are leaving our children, where are the loopholes? How can we close them? Okay, because really you cannot really learn everything all by yourself. We need to learn from one another. What are the loopholes? How can we close the loopholes that we have at hand, just so that we make sure that we are leaving our children's better off when we are not here one day. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's a little bit long. I ended up going to 40 something minutes, and really comment down below. Let us have wills. Let us leave wills behind, and let us not take that for granted. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, so that we get monetized and start getting paid. I badly want to start getting paid because I want to make money, and I cannot just be making videos for free and I'm not getting paid, because I have 90 something videos. That's a lot of videos. I please need to be monetized. Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers and more, and please watch my videos, like and what a comment, just comment anything, even if you say a fan signing in, that's also just a comment, a fan signing in or something, so that our content can be recommended to other YouTuber, not YouTubers, but other people to watch also, and then we can increase our community, so that I also receive cash, because I need cash, guys. I need it, and I'm begging you, please do like, do subscribe, and please share, and please comment, even if it's just a hi, Hilma, hi, thank you for the video, or thank you, anything, please. I'll be also in the comment sections just to chat with you guys. I love you. Bye.